Hey guys, get ready to be depressed. This story is very depressing. It's actually a long story. So, Rehoboam was king and he died. And his son Abijah became king. And he was crap. It says Abijah, let's see, 31. He committed all the sins of his father had done before him. His heart was not fully devoted to the Lord. So he was crummy. Then he had a kid, and his kid's name was Asa. And Asa, verse 11, 1 Kings 15, Asa, this is the only good verse in all that we're going to read till the very end here. Asa did what was right in the eyes of the Lord, as his father David had done before him. And he rocked. He expelled all the prostitutes, which are people that have sex for money, in the church, or the whatever it was, shrine or temple of their idols. He got rid of all the idols that his fathers had made. So all the idols that were under every tree and on every hill, he got rid of all of them. He even fired his grandma because she was the queen. He fired her, said, "You can't be queen no more," because she had made a big idol pole. And he rocked. So after him, he died. And this other guy came in. Let's see, his name was Baasha. And Baasha, killed Nadab and succeeded him. So I guess Nadab was somewhere. Hold up, I skipped a page. So Baasha killed him and became king. And then he proceeded to kill all of Jeroboam's family, which is what God had prophesied. He said to Jeroboam, all the people in your family are going to die, and the people that die in the city are going to get eaten by dogs, and the people that die in the country will get eaten by birds. So this guy, his name was Baasha, he made that come true. He killed all of Jeroboam's family. So then God prophesied against Baasha. He said, okay, since you killed all of Jeroboam's family, even though it was part of my total plan, I'm going to kill all your family. So later, let's see, this guy named Zimri, he became king. As soon as he began to reign, he went and he killed all of Baasha's family. So then this guy Zimri, who became the king, he got attacked. Let's see, where am I? Goes pretty fast. They just are all really crummy. So he died because his sins he had committed, doing evil in the eyes of the Lord. Okay. Then the people of Israel were split. It just keeps getting worse. And then, let's see, a whole bunch of bad kings in the trash can. Then Omni became king. And let's talk about him. Omri, he did evil in the eyes of the Lord. He sinned more than all those before him. So then Ahab became king. Now, Ahab, not wanting to be outdone by Omri, who had done more than sin than anybody else, Ahab did more evil in the eyes of the Lord than any of those before him. It's like it's a contest who can be the most wicked and totally be horrible and worship the most idols. So I skipped a big old part. Anyways, there was one part in here where one of these kings anyways, he was doing stupid stuff and being a miserable, horrible king. Maybe I went over this last time. Anyway, somebody came into the city and I think I talked about this. They attacked Jerusalem and carried off all the treasures from the temple and all the treasures from the royal palace. I think I already talked about that. So anyway, Yay, all that stupidity's over. Bad kings worshiping idols. Now we're finally getting to some good stuff. We still have a crappy king. His name is Ahab. And his stupid wife Jezebel. We're going to talk about them a lot. But in enters a person. I recognize his name. You're going to put your hands together for Elijah. Yay! Finally, somebody I know that he loved the Lord. I've heard about Elijah. Have you heard about Elijah? So here comes Elijah. Yes, someone finally that's going to love God and serve God. Elijah came and said to Ahab, "As the Lord, the God of Israel lives, who I serve, you don't, but I do, who I serve, there will neither be dew nor rain in the next few years except at my word." Then the Lord came to Eli, said, "Leave here, turn eastward, hide in Kidrith, in this eastern valley of the Jordan. You will drink from the brook. I have ordered the ravens to feed you there." So he went to this brook, and he had plenty of water, and ravens brought him food every day, and he was set, and kind of hiding from Ahab, because he had told Ahab there's not going to be any rain, and Ahab's going to get pretty ticked off, because there's going to be, I think it lasted for 3 years, there was no rain, right? So so he did what the Lord had told him. He went to this brook, and he stayed there. The ravens brought him bread and meat in the morning, and bread and meat in the evening, and he drank from the brook. I wonder where they got the bread and the meat. I don't know. You see, just imagine what was going on in people's houses. I don't know why these freaking ravens show up every day and take our supper. All the neighbors are talking, "That happened to me last Monday. This big old flock of birds. We sat down to eat, and they all came in and took all the food." Hey guys, I had to get on down the road. So anyways, continuing on with the story, Elijah the Lord really provided for him, and he was able to he was able to live by the brook and not need anything. God took good care of him. But eventually, since it wasn't raining, and he was by a brook, and it didn't rain for 3 years, grand total, what do you think happened to the brook? So eventually the brook dried up. So Elijah had to go. So sometime later the brook dried up, and the Lord said, "Go at once to this city. I have commanded a widow in that place to supply you with food." Now, we don't see the widow talk about this, and we don't see that like an angel going to the widow, and the widow never mentions anything about it. But God went to the widow ahead of time and told her to take care of Elijah. So Elijah goes as God had commanded. God said, "I have commanded a widow concerning you, that she will supply you with in that place to supply you with food." Okay, so he goes, and when he shows up, he saw her anyways. So he went to the city. When he came to the town gate, a widow who was there gathering sticks, he called to her and said, "Would you please bring me a drink of water?" And as she was leaving, he said, bring me, please, a piece of bread." And she says, her answer is, "As surely as the Lord lives," she replied, "I don't have any bread, only a handful of flour and a jar with a little oil in it. I am gathering a few sticks to take home to make a meal for myself and my son, that we may eat and die." Does she sound like she has a lot of hope? Like life is happy? Like things are good? I've got the very last bit of the food that we have for the rest of our lives. We're going to eat it, and then after that we're going to die because we don't have any food, and it's a famine, and there's no hope. We are going to die. So, how hard does that make it when Elijah said, please bring me a piece of bread to give this guy that's a total stranger? Apparently God had went to her and told her he was coming and that she was supposed to provide for him. But I love those times in life where there is that element of faith. You have to do something first, and then God will move. He wants to see that you trust him. And he gives us these things, and he gives us these things, and they are, hold on a second. And they are a precious gift. They really are a precious gift that he gives us, that we're going to have to exercise our faith, and then he just so rewards us when we show our faith in him. So Elijah said to her, don't be afraid. Bring me, go into your home. Bring me a small cake of bread for me from what you have. Bring it to me, and then make some for yourself and your son. So he said, feed me first. And this is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says. The jar of flour will not be used up. The jug of oil will not run dry until the day the Lord gives rain to the land. She went away, and she did, as Elijah said. So there was food every day for Elijah and for the woman and her family. For the jar of flour was not used up, and the oil did not run out, in keeping with the word of the Lord. So God honored her faith and fed them for the rest of the famine. So I don't know how long he was at the brook or how long he was at her house, but the total was 3 years. So a little tiny bit of flour lasted years, probably a year and a half, who knows, a long time. So God will honor us if we show him we have faith. One of the main things we do in our lives to show God we have faith is we tithe. And we give when it's hard, or when it does. We'd rather, we might even have a bill that's important, and we trust God. We give our money, even if we don't have money for the bill, and we trust God, and God comes through every time. All right, you guys have a good night.